Well, friends, it's that time of the year when the year is ending, a new year is coming in, and I have to look back and think, how many hours did I play video games? And how many hours did I go outside? And always the answer is, I didn't go outside enough, but I also feel like I still somehow did not play enough video games. But I'm going to give you still my best and worst of the year for what I did play, because I did put a lot of hours in. It's just there's too many gosh darn games that I want to play. Stop making such exciting and interesting games, gaming community. Stop it. No, but don't stop it, please. I also am surprised that I played anything other than Baldur's Gate 3, because that game, anytime I pick it up, it consumes me. It consumes my soul in the best way possible. I could spend my whole life in Baldur's Gate 3 and probably feel very fulfilled with that. I would never need to touch grass again. Needless to say, obviously my best game of the year is going to be Baldur's Gate 3. It was just so amazing. And you know what I really love about Baldur's Gate 3? It really delivers an experience like no other for me. I'm a big RPG gamer, whether that's tabletop RPGs or video game RPGs. Video game RPGs are some of my first loves in gaming. Like, that's really when I became addicted to gaming. Welcome to Video Game Addiction Anonymous. I didn't think I was going to be professing that, but yes, that is when it happened for me. I picked up RPG games. I mean, Fable was definitely one of the first ones for me that it just did something to my brain, and I went, I could just want to play this on a loop forever and live my life in this game. And then I did, and now here we are today, me, an adult, and I'm making the choice to do that again. Even though I could go outside, but what is outside, really? It's nothing compared to Baldur's Gate 3. Why I really love this game as well is just as a tabletop RPG player is if you have ever been interested in Dungeons and Dragons or tabletop RPGs in general, I will say Baldur's Gate 3, especially for D&D, but you can draw some parallels to some other more mechanical based tabletop games. Baldur's Gate 3 gives you the feeling of playing the game. It really is interesting. It is very much a D&D game, but in a video game. But it's like you're playing it with your friends, and actually you could play it with your friends. The idea that you can play online with friends through a co-op story with a whole party, it blows my mind. That is the coolest thing. I've never had a game that's made me feel so excited. And this idea that, you know, there might be parts of your friend's stories that you don't know about because, like, you don't want to listen in. They could have, like, secrets from you, or, you know, you might know everything, or you might share information with each other. It's really, really cool. I will say, though, people saying that Baldur's Gate 3 is, like, gonna, like, ruin, like, DMing or GMing, whatever you prefer, Dungeon Masters or Game Masters, and we won't have them anymore because we could just play this video game. No. Do you know how many hours of work went into building this story? Do you even, like, you can't just create you do not just create Baldur's Gate 3. It is a lot of work that goes into that. So I don't think it'll ever replace GMs and DMs. They do a lot of work. They can make it an experience completely custom for you. And although Baldur's Gate 3 does a good job of sort of emulating some of that, it's never going to be the same as a one-for-one with, like, a GM that knows you, in my opinion. So I will say I also love that I didn't feel like it threatened my tabletop experience. It just brought something that was different. It was like a tabletop experience in a video game, which is cool. And if you do like it, I would say if you haven't played D&D before, you should give it a try. Just a suggestion. Second up, I loved Alan Wake 2. Obviously, if you've been following me here on YouTube or on Twitch, which if you don't know, I do stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/fanpex13. And I also do stream here on YouTube. If you check out the live tab, you'll see some live streams there that I've done. I've been streaming a lot of Alan Wake 2 recently, and man, that game, like, breaks my brain in the best way. It's also terrifying. I love a game that terrifies me, but also makes me think, but also makes me go, like, this is just art. This is just, I'm playing art. And that's what Alan Wake really, really is to me. It's got such a great story. It's so interesting the way the story unfolds. It really is unique, I would say. And it still also stays very true to the franchise and the first game, which I just recently went back and replayed, the remastered version. I didn't make it all the way through, but man, that game is so scary. I played it for the first time actually during the pandemic, the Alan Wake original game, just Alan Wake, and it scared me, especially for an old game. And I wasn't playing the remastered the first time I played it through. The remastered is more scary because everything just looks better, so it's even more scary. Next up, I have Mortal Kombat 1. Mortal Kombat 1. So Mortal Kombat 1 is awesome. Obviously, I've put a lot of hours into it. Obviously, it was a game I got super hyped for this year. I never thought I would be a fighting game streamer or content creator, but I've also just really enjoyed playing Mortal Kombat 1 because of the community. Like, just everyone that loves Mortal Kombat, like, coming into the streams and just being supportive and being excited to see me play and have fun has been really amazing. I would never have thought to do that because I always thought if I play a fighting game, if I'm not, like, amazing at the fighting game, then everyone's just gonna tell me, like, I can't play, like, I'm not good enough to play. And definitely being good at fighting games is helpful for playing, but it is cool to see that, like, I don't have to be a master and I can still be welcomed into the community and that people are just happy to have me there and excited for the game, which I am. And I've been really enjoying getting into the lore. The story for this game was awesome. The end was a little weird. If you guys wanted to check out more of my thoughts on the story or the game, I also do have a full story reaction where I played through it on the channel as well, and I've also been doing some Invasion stuff over on the live tab, so you can check that out. Next up is Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy was probably one of my most anticipated games of this year. I was really excited for it to come out. I am a big, like, Potterhead. I grew up with Harry Potter, and it is just so closely tied to, like, my childhood and just the whimsy and magic of what it's like to, I think, be a kid and, like, believe in magic. So to play that game, nothing will replace the moment when I first started playing and I was streaming it. I was streaming it on Twitch at the time, and I remember when I first set it up, Uptown Duck and I were on a call together. I jump into it, and my keyboard and everything was cycling through the house colors. And then when I saw Hogwarts, I literally cried. Like, it was so magical to just be at the school and, like, have that experience. It's making me cry just thinking about it. Stop. But it really is a beautiful game, and you can tell that a lot of love was put into crafting that world for us to explore. I still haven't finished the entire game, but that is not because of the game. That is just because so many amazing things have been coming out and interrupting my playthrough. So I'm really excited to go back and finish it, and also probably do multiple playthroughs of it, because I do want to play through as, like, other houses, even though Slytherin for life, baby. Next up, my final one on this list, although, as I said, if you want to see more games that I love, because I'm gonna do an extra bit for members only. So if you want to see that, make sure you check it out. You can become a member. If you become part of the Golden Fang Gang tier, you get access to exclusive videos. But if you also just want to support the channel and you don't need that exclusive content, you can also do that. You can just become one of the vampires, and you will also get some videos early. I also prioritize your comments, you get emotes, and you just support the channel. And then the Golden Fang Gang tier higher, you also get members only videos behind the paywall. So my last game is Spider-Man 2. And obviously, Spider-Man 2, I mean, look, this is a game that is just so fun and addictive to play. It has a similar feel for me to Baldur's Gate 3, where I really just don't want to put it down, and Hogwarts Legacy, honestly. Like, those three games, I could just play them, like, non-stop. If I didn't have other things that I had to do in my life, like sleep and eat and, you know, get up and go to the studio to, like, make, like, nerd content, top 10 nerd, I would 10 out of 10. I would definitely just play it. Like, the story, the game mechanics, swinging around the city, all the suits, it's very exciting, and it's really exciting, especially as a Spider-Man fan. and I definitely need to go back and play through the first one, which I've only seen some of it. I do know the entire story, so I was prepared going into it, but I hadn't played it, and I need to go back and do that. I'm itching. I'm itching for some more web swinging. So let's talk about the worst games. I have 2 for you, and on the members only, I'm gonna add a 3rd one, and it's not gonna be one you expect. But for the worst for my games that I've played this year, which I would like to also add that both of these have not necessarily come out this year, but I've played them both this year. So at least I don't think so. Let me check. Wait, let me check. Did it come out this year? No, yeah. So one of them came out a couple years ago, but I played it for the first time this year. I had it for a little while, but I hadn't played it yet. So the first one is, I think you've already guessed it if you've been following me, is Gollum, which I will say, although it is not a good game, I haven't gone back to play it, and I do know that they were saying they were going to patch it, so I do want to revisit Gollum and see if it's been fixed at all, or what level of fixing it's gotten, and how that changes the experience. And I will say, I am interested still in the idea. People were like, who even wants this game? And I was like, I actually did want this game. I think the idea of playing Gollum and having to make these choices between like Gollum and Smeagol and play through the story of what happens to Gollum is interesting. I didn't like that it basically became Prison Simulator, and I didn't like how glitchy it was and unplayable it became at parts. The further you get into that game, the more broken it gets, and it just becomes really frustrating. But I don't mind the story of the game. I think that's actually kind of interesting, to be real with you. So, and I kind of love games that are janky, so me saying something that is the worst in this case is really a kind of love it. Kind of also obsessed with Gollum, but it is admittedly terrible. If you don't love jank, definitely don't play it. And then the other one is Back 4 Blood. So I was actually really excited for Back 4 Blood. I'm a big Left 4 Dead fan, and I really wanted Back 4 Blood to be good because I know it's by like a lot of the same people. Obviously Valve got distracted by doing like Steam stuff. They don't really do a lot of like games anymore. So I was just like, man, I miss Left 4 Dead, and I wish we had new Left 4 Dead, and that's what Back 4 Blood seemed like it was going to be. But it's really complicated. Why is it so complicated? There's cards, and you have to like spend the cards to do stuff, and like there's like a whole camp that you have to go around to even like get in a match, and you have to do like this whole like 30-minute tutorial before you can even jump into a match. And then when you're in a match, there's all these like stipulations for how you play it, and then people can just leave partway through, and then you're kind of just like screwed in the game. And there's just a lot of things that make this game way more complicated and honestly bog it down. Like, it does not need to be that complicated, and some of the stuff is actually just hurting the game by adding more stuff that's overcomplicating it and really slowing down my gaming experience, where I just want to go around and like fight zombies, you know what I mean? And have fun with my friends. And it's just a lot. And sometimes there are things that also kind of felt broken in that game. I think also it maybe is, I don't know if it's even supported anymore. I think they got rid of the support for Back 4 Blood. So that just kind of tells you. Yeah, I mean, it's got a 6 out of 10 right now on Steam. Wow, it is 85% off. No way. Is it 85% off right now? No way. It is $11.99 right now. It's an $80 game. Yikes. Although the recent reviews are mostly positive. Maybe I should jump back into it. No, don't be tempted. Don't be tempted. I'm tempted though. Maybe I'll try it again. But I will say the last gaming experience I had really kind of turned me off. And I think because also I was so hyped, it was just disappointing. So those are my games. Make sure if you do want to hear the extra ones, I have 5 more of my best and I have 1 more for my worst. And you can check that out over on the members only playlist for members only. So yeah, make sure if you're interested that you join the Golden Fang Gang. And until next time, friends, and until the new year, I hope your 2023 was great, but I hope your 2024 is even better. And stay nerdy until January 1st and beyond into 2024. Bye.